Good afternoon to every one of you present here. Myself, Mr. K. Prabhakaran, working as an assistant professor in Tirthanara College in Department of Commerce General. Today, I'm going to have a topic of financial management to describe about to you. So it is a description about the details of the financial management. At first, the meaning of the financial management. The financial management is a concept of overall in-depth towards the management to achieve the goals towards the financial aspect. For the achievements over the planning, organizing, controlling, everything in terms for the financial level of the objectives to be fulfilled for the financial manager as he works for the company of the organization. The objectives of financial management, which are listed here as profit maximization, wealth maximization, proper utilization of funds, investment decision, dividend decisions. Listed as to be as 5. The primary objectives of an organization in terms for the financial management is the profit maximization and the wealth maximization. Each organization thinks about themselves to achieve the profit to the maximum level. That's a main motto of an organization. So the management of the financial aspect, they think how to achieve the profit to the maximum level. It's the first of the objectives. The second one is the wealth. The term wealth is the focus about the details about the not only the profit aspect, the wealth aspect in terms of all over the area of the organization. Because the wealth is the mass where they can earn and put toward the long run. Profit maximization is for the short run. Yearly ones they go for. So wealth is a concept of to be large mass level. So the organization thinks about how to achieve this profit maximization as well as the wealth maximization. The aim of the goal of the organization is these two. First, primary. The next one is the proper utilization of the funds. Because the company prolong and go through the year by year and everywhere through by way of the funds what they have. So the funds has to be properly utilized to what area and to what extent and to whom it has to be provided, and all these things has to be properly done. So the financial management tracks it in a proper manner to achieve the level of the proper utilization of the funds. Investment decision, it's very important concept where the investment to be done, to what area as well as to the period of time limit also. So everything put together, there is a criteria to achieve the investment decisions where the financial management helps to achieve this concept. And towards the dividend decisions, dividend is a criteria towards the dividend given to the shareholders. Not only to shareholders, the persons who have been buying the shares, the directors of the company and overall the stakeholders, where the dividend has to be properly decided, when to be given, to what percentage has to be given, and to the interim level of dividend also is there where it has to be provided for the shareholders. So all these decisions also has to be taken. This concept is also found to be an objective of the financial management where they have to do. Then the financial manager we have to see about. The financial manager is a person who plays a role of the financial management. He is a financial manager. He has a role for it where he has to achieve the financial management concept where they are thinking about the company's organization. Since it is the financial planning and the forecasting, the meaning of the concept is that he has to decide and everything to be done for the purpose in terms for the future concept. That's called as a forecasting level. So all these decision is a process of final criteria of the management. It has to be done towards that extent. And towards he is a person to take the investment decisions also, where the project has to be done, to what area the capital has, the fund has to be raised, where to issue the capital, and whether to buy the loan, or all these investment decisions is to be taken by the financial manager. And not only in those areas, there are a lot of planning, control, risk management, dividend decisions. All these concepts are basis for the financial manager where he has to take the decisions accordingly for the smooth running of the business in short run as well as in the long run. That's a concept of the role of the financial manager. Now, in the financial management subject, this is a theoretical area where the basic we need to understand. We are getting into the problematic oriented area. The first topic we are going to see about is the cost of capital. This topic deals with how the level of the capital in which the cost is being incurred by the company, because it differs according to the company levels. Each of the company differs, where their interest they're going to give, the dividend they're going to pay, all these things differs. So in each concern, what is the level of that cost has to be understand. So we'll see it according to the problem over here. Here's a question for it. Cost of capital deals with various concept of cost of debt, cost of equity capital, cost of preference share capital. Overall, there is a various levels. Here we're going to see about the weighted average cost of capital concept. The weighted average cost of capital is nothing but all the details of the cost of the capitals put together. In that average, what is the level of the company's weighted average, you're going to see it about. So weighted average cost of capital. You see the question over here. A company plans to raise capital by issuing equity and debt. The details are as follows. Cost of equity, they own already, they have the cost of equity is 12%, cost of debt is 8%, proportion of the equity in capital is 60%, proportion of debt in capital is 40%, tax rate is 30%. With this base, we're going to calculate the weighted average cost of capital. Let me see how it has been calculated. First we have to see the formula, then we have to proceed how the calculation has to be done. The weighted average cost of capital formula is listed over here. First you have to multiply the cost of equity, that is mentioned as KE. You can listen it over here. KE. The KE is nothing but cost of equity. Then WE is meant for weights of the equity, because it has to be multiplied within these two. The cost of equity as well as the weights of the equity. Then KD is nothing but cost of debt. The cost of debenture will be said as. Okay, we have debenture, and WD is nothing but cost of, that is the weights of the debt. So all these values will be given directly in the question itself. We have to just substitute in the formula. And finally, we have to multiply 1 minus tax rate. This tax rate is being deducted only for the cost of debt, not for the cost of equity. Clear? Because cost of equity is the original value of the capital. If the debt is being calculated, where the tax is to be paid for the interest and all those calculations. For that purpose, the tax will be calculated only for the cost of debt. So when it is to be substituted, and all these values of the percentage, everything is given in the question. So KE is 12%, KD is 8%. KE is nothing but, as I said for you, cost of equity is 12%, cost of debt is 18%, and the tax rate is given in the question is 30%. Here we are going to take 1 minus 30%. 30% can be written as 0.30. 30 by 100, when you divide, it will give you 0.30. So then we have separated and you will get an answer of 0.70. This is being calculated for this purpose. In formula, we have wrote as 1 minus tax rate. For that purpose, the 70% has been calculated like this. Then weight of the equity and weight of the debt, that is also given in the question, 60% and 40%. That has to be converted as 0.60. This 0.60 is being derived by of dividing 60 by 100. Percentage is 100. When you divide by 60 by 100, you will get 0.60. And finally, we will plug this values, all these in the formula. So when you substitute all these values in the formula, see to it, it is 12% into 0.60 plus 8%. All these are according to the formula, 0.40. Finally, into 0.70 is nothing but this has been substituted over here. So finally, when you multiply 12% into 0.60, it results to be 7.2% plus 2.24% derived from all these values. From this we have got it. And finally, when you add these 2%, it results to be 9.44%. This is weighted average cost of capital. Clear about this formula and the problem? Next, we are moving into the next topic, that is leverages. What is the concept of leverages? Normally, the leverages is a concept which has been explained in terms of 3 levels. One is operating leverage, financial leverage, and combined leverage. They will be, normally they used to say it as a types of financial leverage, or we can say it as the level of leverages: operating leverage, financial leverage, and combined leverage. Combined leverage is nothing but it's a combination between the combination of operating leverage and the financial leverage. So operating leverage is in the category of to the level from one level to another level. That has been, when you do a formula, we come to understand. I'll explain you what is the period of where the operating leverage stands for and the financial leverage stands. But actually, we should understand the concept of it. Normally operating leverage is nothing but a concept where it has an impact on the fixed cost on the profit changes. That's a point, because the fixed changes of the cost, that's a point you have to understand. Over here it is the financial leverage is on the cost where the debt changes financing towards. So the debt financing concept deals with where the interest is being paid. The interest is being paid to the level where the amount of loan borrowed or amount of debenture is being borrowed. So it deals with the financial leverage. Whereas in the operating leverage, it deals with the variable cost and the fixed cost. The cost which has been incurred inside the business. So this up to that level is called as operating leverage. So when you put a problem on it, we can easily identify what is the level of the operating leverage and the financial leverage. We'll see a problem in it also. So leverage is problem. It's a question over here. Calculate operating leverage, financial leverage under situation 1 and situation 2 for the financial plan A and B. That's a different, it's a complicated area of the problem over here. Normally they used to give a calculation purpose, direct a single level of the problem. Here I took two situations with two financial plans. What are the two situations and what are the two financial plans? We'll see it out. The company deals with the installed capacity of 2000 units where they produce and sell for 2000 units. The actual production and the sales is 50% of the capacity. The selling price is 20 per unit. Variable cost is 10 per unit. All these details will be given in the question. So the fixed cost. The fixed cost differs to a different situation. So these are the different situations we are going to handle over in this problem. Under situation 1, it is 4,000 rupees. Under situation 2, 5,000 rupees. There's a difference over here. We'll see how to do it. And the capital structure is the financial plan differentiations. A and B, two different plans are over here. For equity that is 5,000, 15,000, and for debt rate of interest is 10%. Debt is nothing but the debenture what you have borrowed. For that debenture what you have borrowed, the percentage of interest is 10%, and the amount borrowed in the plan A it is 15,000, in the plan B it is 5,000. The total value is given. We will see how to proceed with the formula. So to calculate operating leverage and the financial leverage and the combined leverage, first we have to prepare a statement of profitability. The statement of profitability which deals with from the sales to the EBIT. Why we start with sales? Normally in a concern, to derive a profit, to get a profit, a company has to do one main important area. What they have to do is they have to make the sales. Only through sales they can earn the profit. The loss are going to incur or profit is going to incur, anything it might be, they have to do the sales. So sales is the base. So from sales we are going to calculate all the details. The format, sales minus variable cost. First you are going to detect the variable cost. You will get contribution. From contribution you are going to detect fixed cost. You will get EBIT. See to it, from sales. From sales to this EBIT level is said to be as the operating leverage. From this level to this level is said to be as a financial leverage. This is operating leverage and this is financial leverage. Why we termed as operating leverage from this level to this level? This deals with the operating activity of a company. And this deals with the financial activity of a company. So the level of leverages is to be understood by way of these levels. That's why I said as level of activity in the leverage I just explained you first. So from the sales, variable cost is being detected. Without variable cost, there will be no operating activity in the business. There will be no operating activity in the business. Is nothing but a variable cost is a cost which has been incurred. When it has been incurred, if there is no incur of the variable cost, none of the activities will go off. The company will not at all operate. So therefore deals that we should be as an operating concept. Financial concept, that's why the interest payable and the financial cost, all these being said to be as a financial concept. This is not a financial concept, this is a cost concept, and here is a financial concept. That's why this is financial leverage and this is operating leverage. So we are going to calculate it according to the question point. That is, see to it in the question you have some values over here, right? The installed capacity and selling price that will be planned over here. See plan A, plan B, again plan A, plan B for situation 1 as well as for the situation 2. For situation we are going to do both the plans, and for situation 2 we are going to do both the plans. As to start with the sales is nothing, it is the value of 20,000 rupees. for 1000 units, the selling price is 20 per unit, which has been already given in the question. So 1000 into 20, it is said to be as a 20,000. Here we have 20 per unit, and the variable cost is 10 per unit. So 20 into 1000, 20,000, 10 into 1000 is 10,000. Same way for all the values will be derived, because there will be no change. Only the changes over the plan A and plan B, what is the changes given, only the changes will make it. And for situation, what is the plan, and for situation 2, what is the plan, what is given in the question, we are going to achieve. So sales, there will be no change. Variable cost also, there will be no change. So contribution will be the same value for all the plans under two situations, plan A and plan B. For situation 1 and situation 2, the contribution will be the same, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Where in fixed cost there will be a change, because in question fixed cost for the situation 1 and fixed cost situation 2, there is a different values. See to it, for plan A and plan B, situation 1, the fixed cost is 4,000, 4,000. When you come to the situation 2, it is 5,000, 5,000. There is no changes over it. Clear? So what is the EBIT is nothing but contribution minus fixed cost. You will get the value called as EBIT. The EBIT value was 10,000 minus 4,000, 6,000. Here 10,000 minus 4,000, 6,000. When it comes to the situation 2, it is 10,000 minus 5,000, 5,000, and here also 5,000. So it differs according to the situation, because situation values only differs here. And finally, when you subtract towards interest, in interest, plan A there is different interest, for plan B there is different interest. We seen in the question, because in plan A, plan B, for the financial plan, the debenture, the cost of debt is nothing but 10%. It is being given, and the value of the plan A amount and plan B amount we can see in the question over here. See to it, in debt rate of the interest is 10%. For plan A is 15,000, for plan B it is 5,000. So when you just enter over here for the interest calculation, in plan A, 15,000 into 10%. That is the value, got it. This is being derived by way of calculating like this, 15,000 into 10%. And when you come to this point, it is 5,000 into 10%. It is being given in the question only. When you just calculate, it becomes 1,500 and 500. For again plan 1, plan A and plan B, 1,500 and 500. So this is the value. When you subtract, you will get EBT. EBT is nothing but earnings before tax. EBIT is nothing but earnings before interest and tax. When you subtract 6,000 minus 1,500, you will get 4,500. 6,000 minus 500 is 5,500. When you come to this situation, there is a different values of it. 5,000 minus 1,500, 3,500. 5,000 minus 500 is 4,500. So we got all the values from the calculation. Now we are going to find the operating leverage. Not only we are going to find the operating leverage and financial leverage, it has some set of formulas. According to the formula, in formula what are the values we require, it has been calculated in this statement of profitability. Clear? So by way of this values, we will just substitute in the operating leverage formula and the combined leverage formula, financial leverage formula. We'll just take it out here in the next slide. See over here. Operating leverage, the formula is nothing but contribution by EBIT. EBIT just gone to the side. So contribution by EBIT. And financial leverage formula is EBIT divided by EBT. So this is the formula for it. So in this formula we are just substituting accordingly. See to it. In for situation 1 and situation 2, plan A, plan B, plan A, plan B, I am just calculating for operating leverage. Plan A. Formula is contribution by EBIT. Situation 1, plan A, my contribution is, when you see to the previous slide, for plan A, contribution is 10,000 and my EBIT is 6,000. So when you substitute over here, see to it, contribution is 10,000 and my EBIT is 6,000. Same way for plan B also, it is being same, 10,000, 6,000. And over here in situation 2, 10,000, 5,000, 10,000, 5,000. When you see to the statement of profit in the previous slide, you will get those values that has been substituted here. So when you substitute 10,000 by 6,000 becomes 1.07 and 10,000 by 6,000 becomes 1.07. 10,000 by 5,000 is 2. So the value of the operating leverage for situation 1 under plan A it is 1.07 and for plan B is 1.07 and situation 2 it is 2 and 2. When you come to the financial leverage, it's said to be as EBIT by EBT. For situation 1, the same formula has to be completed. Same way when you go for plan A, 6,000 by 4,500 and 6,000 by 5,500, 5,000 by 3,500. This is being substituted according to the formula EBIT and EBT. You have to take it from the statement and you have to substitute those values over here. So when you substitute, you will get the answer as 1.33, 1.09, 1.428 and 1.1 accordingly. So you are clear about the formula, right? Next we will go to the dividend policy. In short, I will just explain it here. Earnings per share is 10 rupees, dividend per share is 6 and return on investment is 15%, cost of equity capital is 12%. By using the Walters formula, we have to do it. So how to do it is nothing but here it is being given as a formula for the dividend policy. That is D plus R by K into E minus D divided by K. D is nothing but dividend. R by K is nothing but cost of equity and cost of the rate of cost of capital. E is nothing but earnings per share. So all these values, everything will be given in the equation. We have to just directly substitute in it. So D is nothing but 6. It is being given in the equation. You can just take it over 6 per share, dividend per share. Likewise, all the calculations R, D, E, K, everything will be given in the equation. What we have to do is directly substitute in the formula. This formula you can have to understand under the Walters model, dividend policy. So price is this. When you substitute in it and when doing the calculations, finally you will get a value called as, you will get an answer 11 by 0.12. When you divide it becomes to be as 110. So this concept is called as dividend policy. So with this, I'll conclude on my financial management subject for this today. So thank you so much.